Yes. Hello, everyone. This is your man, Vintage Kenya, 8690. If this is your first time to watch my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe to Vintage Kenya, 8690. Yes, today I've chosen few stuff that I would like to discuss with the underdeveloped world, but this one is going directly to my brothers and sisters back at home in Kenya. I've chosen few stuff that I would like to bring to your attention so that we can deliberate and you can also find a space to put down your comment, which I won't hesitate to respond to. Number one thing, I want to go direct to the point because people don't have enough time to watch all these long videos. Yeah. So this is just to the best interest of our country because we want to develop. We don't want to move steps backwards from where we came from. One thing I would like to bring to your attention is particularly the issue of IEBC, the Independent Electoral Commissioners. I think it's been a high time, and we've just had enough of negativity from these individuals who are put in the office to chair the election. Since 2007, these guys have been giving us nightmares. If we forget about the past, during the Moise regime, those were the Kanu time, yeah, very dictatorial. People always want to run away from the truth, but these are facts that we need to face. The Kanu regime was I don't know, terrible. Good, we are now doing okay as Kenyans. Yeah, straight to my point. I think it's a high time that these guys needs to be sued. They need to be taken to court and held accountable and responsible for the horrible things that they're doing in the office. We are spending a lot of money for the elections, and also we are getting funding from abroad to support us redefine who our representatives are. But you find that there are few crooks, but I call them crooks, who thinks with their belly that they find it fit that once they've been given billions, they can change the outcome of the true reflection of the people's choices. And this is just terrible. This is impunity of the highest standard or the highest order. So, a solution to this, what's going back at home is now about political rallies and demos. Yes, those can bring changes. You call it revolution. I don't deny that. But we have to be smart. How can we get? How can we hold these people responsible? So the next people who are applying for these positions for 2027 general election are not trapped into this kind of trouble. Yeah. Solution is to sue them. We need to take these independent electoral commissioners to court, even if the matter will delay for 7 years, but justice should be served. For instance, I don't want to go back. It's been a long overdue, and many elections have been fiddled with. So I want to stick particularly to 2023 general election. Yeah, this was my first agenda. Then I'll come to two more, then we call it ends. Yeah, I think the chairman of independent election, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, someone needs to take this bastard to court. We can't afford to use taxpayers' money, get funding from the UK, US to help us run free and fair election, then someone is sitting in the office having a laugh. This is just ridiculous. It's just completely out of order. It's nonsense. To the opposition leader, Mr. Odinga, yes, you are calling political rallies and maybe planning for demos, but this is going to hurt Kenyans because once these things are on, business are stuck or are coming to standstill. People are living with the fear. They can't travel. They can't go to their normal errands. They are scared of their lives because you never know. There are also goons who are taking advantage during these demos to interfere with other people's business. This is where we get mangas now. Yeah. So let's try it differently. Let's sue this man, because if you look back what happened, we also had about five commissioners who disagreed with him, how he conducted himself during the election. And it took a while for him to announce the presidential election results and other results in other constituencies. That calls for a very big question. I don't want, if you're listening, if you're, I'm not saying like I'm correct on what I'm saying, but where there's smoke, there's always fire. Or how do you say it? Where there's fire, there's always smoke. Five commissioners disagreed with him. But as the chairman, this guy didn't even take his time to call for a meeting to listen to his colleagues, like, oh, where did we go wrong? What can we do to sort out? He didn't even think that what he was doing was detrimental to Kenyans, because Kenyan could definitely go down to the dogs. This would cause violence. But people were calm enough since they had witnessed such turbulence in 2007. I don't want to go over and over and over about this subject, but this guy, Mr. Chabukati, someone needs to sue you so that you are held responsible for your troubles that you've caused in this office. This is impunity of the highest order in land. So even if this matter is going to take ages in court, but at least we are sending some stupid heads in jail. They should be behind bars. And this is going to serve as a very stern lesson to anybody who is interested to apply for these positions to conduct elections. So whoever is going to be in those offices, whether it's chosen through what, but there must be a very clear way on how these um, candidates are vetted. We have to check their background, which is impossible. That's impossible. But by taking these guys to court and sending them behind bars, will set a standard for anyone who is applying for this job, that if you dare fiddle with election that is causing us a lot of taxpayers' money, you're going to end up in jail. It should be even life. Because when you fiddle with the election, you are creating violence. This is a recipe for violence. Obviously, if you're fiddling with the election to give people a dodgy results, you're a recipe for violence, because people are gonna resort into other means on how they can get justice. I think that is done. So, Mr. Odinga, if you are watching this, enough of political rallies. I don't know how you are doing it, but you are forgetting one thing, is to take this man to court so justice can be served. Number two, let me just stretch. I got some plenty of time on my hand this afternoon. I don't know if you are getting me very clear on the pictures. If you're joining me right now, please, this is your man V Kenya. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Vintage Kenya 8690. Number two, me actually, I don't discriminate. If Mr. Ruto is in the office and he clearly won the election, then he shouldn't be denied this chance. But if this was created by this guy who I've mentioned his name, then it calls for a very big question, and it's shocking. We are so many tribes in Kenya, and things like this causes division. So number two, there are politicians who have taken advantage of Mr. Odinga. Eh? I'll just mention one name. There's one coming from, I don't know where. Is it Kasipul, Kabondo, or where? Or Homa Bay? I don't know which constituency he comes from. Mr. Peter Owidi. I think that's the right name. That's the correct name. Mr. Peter Owidi. Man, you need to think. And at your age, I think you are embarrassing yourself to come out on Facebook or Twitter to insult Mr. Odinga. There's a Luo phrase that says, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You've ride on Mr. Odinga's back for many, many years. And the wealth that you've created is through this guy. Without Mr. Odinga, I don't think if you would be even a member of parliament. I think people forget so quickly. And I don't know if it's true that with age come experience. Some people don't learn. They don't learn. Hmm? Mr. Widi, you have been a member of parliament of wherever you come from. I don't know. I can't remember. Through this political party, the Orange Democratic Party. And if we go back clearly, I'm not even on Odinga's side because there are some things that I don't agree with him on party nominations. This is where we have a lot of problems at the grassroots level. You find that there are people who have the community at heart, and they're being denied a chance to represent them through nomination, because in Kenya it works very differently. It's not like here or US where you have Democrats and Republicans, and the way on how they process their candidates varies on whatever, I don't know. And here also same. If you are Labour or you are UKIP or Conservative, how are they elected during the nomination? I think by the union or wherever. I don't know the processes, but let me go back to how this thing is done back in Kenya. We have something called nomination. These are party nominations. These are grassroots party nominations, whereby you find in this region is dominated by this tribe, and certain political parties are popular. Like where I come from, ODM is very popular. This is how it works there. They call it the background. This is our background, something like that. So you find majority of members of parliament or representatives that are elected in that region are members of one political party that is popular. If you go to another region like Western, you find the same. If ANC led by Musalia, you find like most of people there, unless they differ with him, now they'll choose other. They'll choose to vie through other political parties. If you go to Central, we have Jubilee, that was headed by the former president, Mr. Kenyatta. If you go to Rift Valley now, the current president, Mr. Ruto, has got a party there called, let me think, UDM. So majority of representatives in Rift Valley are members of UDM. So the reason why I mentioned this is one thing. These political kingpins in Rift Valley, Ruto is the political kingpin there. Majority of members who are elected there are from his party. If you go to Nyanza, the same. So I'm coming back to Mr. Widi. You've enjoyed free lifestyle through Mr. Odinga's political party. These are the political kingpins in every region. So look back when you won the member of parliament, yeah? During nomination, there are people who challenged you, and probably you were favored by Mr. Odinga, and that's how you got the ticket. Same everywhere in those regions. And this is where people go wrong. I think these political kingpins, they need to allow the constituents, yeah, the citizens, if that word constituents maybe can bring a lot of confusion, to exercise their power to nominate whoever they want to represent them. So, Mr. Widi, you've enjoyed a free joyride through ODM, and you didn't see that Mr. Odinga was a bad guy. Now you come out yapping. Oh. You are talking a lot of nonsense, my friend. I shouldn't even be calling you my friend. You need to think, as much as we want development, find a method how you can bring development to the people of that region. But insulting Mr. Odinga is not going to bring any development in any constituency. It's not going to bring anything, and it's not going to change anything. What you want is probably, to me, you are someone who is now desperate looking for a job from Mr. Ruto, and you just need to be open. You don't need to be a sycophant to insult others so that you can get a reward. It's terrible. That's number two. There are so many people like Mr. Owidi. If you are watching this, if you are Mr. Owidi A, Mr. Owidi B, and C, this is meant for you, this agenda. So just come clean. Campaign on a clean, flat platform. Tell people what kind of developments you want to bring, but stop insulting others. You are over 60. You are shaming yourself. Enough of that. I think the last one that I want to discuss is about this confusion that is going on now between Mr. Jalango. I think he's a member of parliament of Langata constituency. Yes, people got different ways of how they want to do things. But one thing, Mr. Jalango, this is just a free advice. I know you're a big man, and you have your constituents at heart. There are things that you'd like to do to help the people of Langata, like affordable housing, sanitation, security, maybe job creation, and free healthcare, things like that. So if this is the reason why you went to see Mr. Ruto, I think you should have informed your party leader. I know democracy there doesn't work like here. Here it's different. Jalango, you excel here because here people are independent. The institutions are independent. It doesn't matter. We had a prime minister here, Boris Johnson. He used to cycle his bicycle to the House of Commons. He takes trains with us. There's no packed security like we have there for the president. The trains that we are board are the ones they are board too. If it's overhead or underground tube, he sits there, you sit on the other next. Whatever. There's nothing. So you would excel here because this is how people think here. We are not. What's the word? I can't find the word. We are not here. Okay, there are disciplinary committees if you are not loyal to your party policies, but there are things that you can also go against so long as it benefits the interest of your constituents. Like what Jalango did. To me, it's okay, but there it's different. There they see you as you're biting the finger that feeds you, and by coming out on a press conference to tell people that uh, you are not sorry about what you did, you need to work your ways in a very, you need to maneuver your ways just to not to rub shoulders with your party leader, because if it's not for ODM, this is just now on man-to-man talk, Mr. Jalang. I don't know. Would you have gone through independent as an independent candidate, or through another party? Obviously, you are very popular, and you've done a lot of things that I've watched on telly, on YouTube, actually abroad here. Amazing things that are touching the society. But what you need to understand, yeah, and Jalango is one of us. He's one of our brothers. We shouldn't be very harsh on him. For everyone who is watching this, we need to give him time. If there's a mistake that he did, he needs to find his ways to realign it with Mr. Odinga. Yeah, because to me, what I see that has gone wrong, Mr. Jalango, if you're listening, you don't dine with your enemies. So what they see there is like you're gonna be like a spy. If they don't see that you are going to see Mr. President to bring development to your constituents, they're seeing that will be successful, but at the same time, you will be a spy for the government who will be infiltrating the opposition. And that's why when you went to that meeting, I saw you having a fracas. Your security and the opposition security were rubbing shoulders because now they don't trust you because you've gone to bed with the enemy. That's how they see it. But in terms of development, I think also somebody mentioned about Babu Owino. He's done a lot of roads construction in Embakasi. I think he's the MP for Embakasi. and it's also helped so many uh, students to get, how do you call it, grants to go to high school and university. Yeah. But with the Kenya system that we have now, I think things work differently because we have resources have been devolved to the county level, whereby you can do programs with this funding rather than relying on the national government. Because every constituency are entitled to are entitled to all these things, the development. So must you go to the president to get a leeway to get the funds, or are there any means that you can follow to access these funds? That's a question that Mr. Jalango, I don't know if you are watching me, please. I would like to hear your side of the story, but it's not necessarily that you have to respond. Just put a comment. If no, it's fine. Me, I have no issues. This is what personally I saw went wrong, and I know you have ODM at heart. Just find a way on how you can have peace with Mr. Odinga, and you guys are the next leaders of Kenya. So everybody who is out there now attacking Jalango, I think we should give him some space, because I don't think he meant wrong anyway. Meeting Mr. Ruto, he just had his ways of doing things. Enough of that, Mr. Jalango. There's one thing, last thing that I want to discuss. Not even discuss, just to speak to this lady. I think she's a woman representative somewhere in Rift Valley. She's popularly known as Toto. 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 She's a very young lady, popularly known as Toto. You were elected there on a UDM ticket. You had your policies and you had things that you wanted to do for the people that you represent. I don't think insulting Mr. Odinga is going to add you any value. But this is how people build their CVs. When you attack Mr. Kenyatta, your CV is growing. I think Kenyans need to change the way they think. Our perception on matters of development are crooked. So by someone insulting someone and yelling abuses, give them a plus on their CV. So next time they can just apply. Or do you know, I insulted so and so. This is the big guy that people don't touch. I touched him. So I think I need another second chance. Things don't work like that. Just be smart. You're a young girl. I don't even need to say that. Focus on what brought you there and give services to your people. Stop rubbing shoulders with your elders. You know, as we have a tradition, man, you don't just go publicly insulting elders who have not even crossed your path. Otherwise, I'll stop it from there. And maybe soon I'll bring another topic to share with everyone. Otherwise, peace, guys. Enjoy your evening. And if this is your first time to watch my YouTube channel, please don't forget to subscribe to Vintage Kenya 8690. Let's live as brothers and sisters without any discrimination of party or tribal affiliation. There's one guy there. Before I say bye, I'm planning to visit Kenya very soon. Makamu, you're from my region. I would like to have an interview with you, man. I'll be looking for you. Otherwise, peace.